I've been thinking about something. We have so many cool gadgets nowadays. iPads and laptops and smart mobile phones. So how come we can hardly ever use them at school? Who decides that we, the people who are supposed to learn, can't even use the tools we're most comfortable with? Use of these gadgets is abbreviated to ICT, Information and Communication Technology. In fact, many people believe that children learn much better by using ICT, but many local authorities struggle to provide their students with this. The problem is not the actual hardware. The schools are full of it. The problem is how to use ICT smartly to improve learning.
My name is Jan-Arve Overland, and I'm a teacher at Kongsberg Upper Secondary School. Here I teach the subject Media and Information Literacy. There are many examples of how children and young people's privacy rights are threatened by the new digital media. Almost all children in Norway have access to computers and the internet, and the use of social media has exploded among children and youth. New digital media provides new venues for some darker sides. That's why the project You Decide took form. A project undertaken by students in the subject Media and Information Literacy at Kongsberg Upper Secondary School in the period from 2011 to 2013. In this project, the media learners conducted 2 hours of instruction on safer use of the internet. All learners in grade 8 at Kongsberg municipality participated. If we want students to engage with the problem, it must be one that they care about. It must involve issues that make sense to them within their interpretive perspectives on the world. The learning task in this project was to plan and conduct 2 learning lessons on safer use of the internet in grade 8 in Kongsberg. They had to solve this challenge in collaboration with 2 fellow students. They had to discuss the issue, solve a problem, and create a product together. It was important that it should not only be cooperation, but real collaboration. This means that they work collaboratively on a problem that they could not master on their own. They had to share their responsibility, so they collectively own the work and be mutually responsible for its outcome. They made substantive decisions to shape the content, process, and the product. They had to decide on their own work plan and roles on the team, plan the process of their work. And they had to shape their presentation to the particular audience, which was 8th grade students. They had to work interdependent. All students had to participate in order for the team to succeed. In other words, group accountability. In this activity, the students must use the knowledge they have constructed to support the task. They had to design the learning lessons in a way so the 8th grade student can learn about the subject. This means that it has to be interdisciplinary. They had to involve content and methods from other subjects and learning goals from them. The problem the students had to solve was new for them. They had to use data from the real world about how big the problem was among younger students. At the same time, they conduct a survey where all the younger students in 8th grade answered, and they used the analysis of the data from this survey in planning the learning lessons. They have to design a complex product that meets a set of requirements. All the information they need for the task was not given to them, and they had to go for more information and put it together in new ways. So for the media students, it was important to find out how big the problem about e-safety was among younger 8th grade students, and how to teach them about this topic so they could act more safe. There was, in other words, a specific, plausible audience in an explicit context where they used actual data. It was innovation. The media students were putting the ideas and solutions into practice in the real world, and the younger 8th grade students benefit together with the parents. Some groups present their product and their findings at Parents' Night. As media students, they are used to produce and not to act as passive consumers of ICT. In this project, ICT was used to support a wide range of 21st century skills. They used internet to find newspaper articles about the subject as examples. They used several Google Docs as Google Documents and Google Forms to collaborate. They used Google Forms to make a survey and to analyze it. They had a closed group on Facebook to communicate and share ideas and information. And they used Microsoft OneNote as a learning book, where they could take notes and track the changes as they go. The groups used PowerPoint as presentation tools, and some of the groups were designers of ICT products that other groups could use, using Microsoft Movie Maker to produce small videos. They also used the blog to reflect on what they learned and about the learning process. So students used ICT to support knowledge construction, and it was required for constructing this knowledge. And they had to create an ICT product for an authentic user. The project lasted 4 weeks at school, and then performing the 2 learning lessons for 8th grade students. My role as a teacher was to work with the students in the project, guiding and empowering them. The students had to plan their work over time, where the learning goals and success criteria were clear. The students in groups had responsibility to decide who will do what and on what schedule. When the plan for the learning lessons was almost finished, they were performing 15 minutes of what they were planning to do for fellow students, and they got feedback from them and teacher. Then they could act on that feedback to improve their work before the performing of the 2 learning lessons. To communicate in several ways is a basic skill in the subject Media and Information Literacy. In this project, they had to act like teachers, designing their communication to a younger audience and so on. They had to ensure that their communication was appropriate to the specific receiver. The communication was extended and multimodal. They also communicated to their own blog. The local newspaper had several articles about the project, and the media students were interviewed. As we can see here, this project are a good example on how we can design learning that prepare learners for life and work in the 21st century. This blog post from Mary can summarize it. This has been an incredible informative period where I have learned a lot about the disposition of learning materials, group collaboration, making comprehensive lecture plan, and not least to be directed against a particular target audience.